Coming up next, we've got the Renaldo Automotive
Renaldo Postgame Show.
Ooh.
We'll let y'all go ahead and take it. You guys got it.
Oh, we're ready to roll.
What an exciting ball game at Kings Mountain.
You talking about that Shelby and Burns game? Oh, you mean that other game?
That other game.
The one that went 7 overtimes?
7 overtime.
Oh, dear.
Kings Mountain loses in a heartbreaker.
Oh, man. I tell you what, they got their money's worth down at Keffer tonight. Because when you get off the bus, Will, you're 14 points behind.
You are.
And
you are.
I think those officials must have had to go to midnight mass.
they got off the field in awful hurry.
They was running late there. And all that took place right in front of the Catholic student section. Yeah.
I wonder how them last 6 get played down on that end.
Oh, well. Well, listen, we've got some scores here. Some other people played tonight. We want to give you the scores. Will, you want to take it away there on the scores?
All right. Tonight, the Shelby Golden Lions win 42-14 over the Burns Bulldogs. The Kings Mountain, of course, falls the Catholic 49-56. And
I think they got that one reversed.
Yeah, they got it reversed. I called it right, though.
Yeah, you're smarter than the average bear, boo-boo.
Basketball. Basketball, we don't have a score for the basketball game. West Lincoln played the Ironmen of Trouble. We don't have that score, so if anybody went to that game.
Cherryville won, Calvin said earlier.
If anybody went to that game, I'd like to have that score.
Yeah.
In football, North Edgecombe falls to Northampton 20-12.
Yeah.
Robertsonville, over Thomas Jefferson 28-14.
Yeah.
Tarboro over John A. Holmes 35-6.
Mm-hmm.
East Syria over Mitchell 35-28. Northeastern?
Northeastern.
And Northeastern defeats Clinton 23-8, which Clinton, the dark horses over there.
Yeah, Shelby's played them before.
Yeah, they fall.
But
Reedsville over West Stokes 63-13. Talk to me what you was going to say.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at that score. Reedsville, a perennial state champion. Man, that's going to be a close slobber knocker when they play. Guess who I think they play?
They played Northeastern, right?
I believe that's correct.
That's correct. So it will be Reedsville versus Northeastern.
And somebody got it right on the pregame show because they, I think Terry took Salisbury. And look at that score, Will.
Salisbury over, is that Redmond?
Randleman.
Randleman.
That's Richard Petty country down there.
Randleman.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a TV show. 14-7, Salisbury over Randleman. Let's see, Southern Nash 32.
Eastern Alamance.
Eastern Alamance 29. Lee County 34. Is that New Haven?
New Hanover.
New Hanover
9.
9.
Yeah.
Weddington 49. Watauga 14. Surprise.
She'll be coming down the mountain, but she'll be going back.
Who was the surprise?
Yeah. Leesville and
Leesville 21, Wake Forest 10. So that's the 4A.
Mm-hmm.
And all you Richmond senior people that's been doing all that trash talk about this side of the mountain, y'all did all that talk all this week on North Carolina football trash talk. Y'all came down on this side and got on one of our sites and start talking trash and laid a golden egg because ZB Vance 38.
Former Governor Zebulon B. Vance. Mm-hmm. I thought he was dead, but evidently he played good tonight.
He played good tonight. ZB Vance 38, Richmond Senior 7, East Forsyth 21, Grimsley 20. That was a that was a good game right there.
That wasn't even overtime.
Wow. So I guess it'd be Vance versus East. Would that be no? Yeah.
Yeah.
Vance versus East Forsyth.
Mm-hmm. And Scotland County, them Catholic schools played pretty good tonight. You got Cardinal Gibbons beating Scotland County 22-15. JP, did you say we had a caller? Who we got?
Steve Degree.
Hey, Steve.
Well, I know that you're happy tonight, Steve. I'm sorry it took so long to get your call, but you can blame the boys over in Kings Mountain. They just wouldn't give up.
Yeah, I was listening to it 7 overtime. Just one of them things I hated for Coach Lloyd and the Mountaineers. Once again, they come so close, but yet so far. But I was cheering for them, though.
Well, we're going to talk about the Kings Mountain game in a little while, but right now, I want to hear from the Shelby people about the Shelby Burns game tonight, and I'd like for the Burns people to call in too, because Burns, you got nothing to hang your head about. You had a great season. Shelby, you guys are loaded. I predict another state championship for the Golden Lions. Steve, talk to me about the game tonight, though.
I'll tell you what, it's like it's been the whole last games, the offensive line. We took control of the offensive line of scrimmage, and we really dominated. Thomas Hovers, and we always got us saying, Max Mooney, we can run it when we want to. Everybody's running when they can. That's the slogan for the offensive linemen, and they done a great job. And then we put the big flak attack, big 95, Santana Flak. I call it the flak attack. So we put him in the backfield, and I went to the Wildcat, and Tahari Mitchell had 4 rushing touchdowns out of that particular formation. He scored all the touchdowns tonight. 1 on the pass, 4 from the flak attack. And we just took control of the line of scrimmage, but we knew probably was gonna get heels, but we just didn't. I just didn't think that they could score enough to beat us. But I really didn't want to play them twice in one season. But once again, the guys, they took care of the business. And Coach Wilbank, Coach Donaway, Coach Hans, Vance, Van Eskridge, Coach Barkley, and all those guys, Coach Scott, Adam Weber, former Golden Lion owner, Tyrese Williams, another former Golden Lion. All these guys got state championships, and they performed a good coaching staff over there at Shelby High.
Steve, what do you think was the key to the game tonight, other than the offensive line? I know that's your pride and joy, but how did Shelby get the upper hand on Burns tonight?
Well, actually, the defense, once again led by Malachi Hamber and Jack Hollifield, played a great defensive game. They was putting a lot of pressure on Squeezy, but that guy was making some great throws. Dennis, he was making some great throws, 3rd down and long, and they was completing them. But we just held our own. And one of the keys, when they had the ball inside the 5 right before halftime and couldn't get it in, I think that was a turning point of the game, because they turned them away with nothing. And they got a couple of legal procedures within in the red zone and backed them up some. And then we was able to control the game from there on in.
Well, I thought the key to the game, Steve, was right before halftime, when it looked like Burns was in a position to score, and due to some penalties and some great defense, they were not able to really score before the half. If they had scored there and come back out and received the ball and scored at that time, this would have been a different complexion on this game. But the Shelby defense, I believe, was the key tonight in stopping them. They were not able to run through and throw the ball as deep as they had against some other teams that didn't have the athletes that Shelby had to match up with them.
Yep, that's what I just, like that half, like you said, Dennis, they got it in, they'd have made it, 14-28. And then if they could have scored again and got made it 21-28, it'd have been a different game. But the defense came up with stops, Malachi and all those guys. Now DBs was giving a pretty good cushion, trying to let the backs get behind them. So we just a great football game for the offensive line and the defensive line. I'm just so proud of those guys. You know, after winning that last year, and then you have to rebuild everything you left. And Coach Wilbank's done a great job. His whole coaching staff did a great job preparing these young men every week.
Well, Steve, looks like you guys are going to be going to the state championship next Saturday at 3 o'clock in the Wake Forest Stadium. JP, I'm getting a lot of feedback here.
Steve, you're gonna have to turn your radio down. That's where you're getting that reverb at.
We're good now, JP. Thank you, sir. You're a good man. You're going to be playing next week. It's going to be Shelby High School versus Salisbury. Steve, what do you know about Salisbury? Come on in, Joel. And
they had a great defense. One of the best defense we probably played. And you know, Salisbury has beaten us I know at least 2 times. We lost down there maybe, I think it was in the final maybe in 2011. We lost down there in Salisbury. And I know it's 1974 when I played we lost to them, so I don't know if we beaten Salisbury or not. But come Saturday, it'll be a different story.
Well, come Saturday, as you said, it'll be a different story there, Steve. We wish you the best, and I encourage all the people to ride down to Wake Forest. It's not that far away.
It's not that bad of a drive.
And it's a beautiful stadium. It's I call it an intimate setting because it's not so
you're
huge.
right there on the field.
One of my favorites for the state championships is the Wake Forest Stadium, and see Shelby get, now, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong here, the 8th championship in the last few years, 8 out of 9?
I think it's going to be 8 out of 7.
Now, 8 out of 7 is real good, Steve.
7 out of 8.
7 out of 8, okay. Now, that's still pretty good, Steve.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's a credit to our coaching staff, and you know we try to keep our same coaching staff together. You know they know each other, and you know they get along great. So that you got half your battle won then. Hadn't been that great turnover in the history of Shelby High School, and we get the kids to buy in to what the coaches believe, and we get all that together, and great things happen.
And Steve, that was a great game. I thought Malachi. If y'all had to pick the overall player of the game, I thought Malachi Hamrick would should have been. He was just phenomenal in this ball game. Him and
the big Flack attack.
Him and Flack, him and Santana played really good. I thought they controlled. I thought they controlled the defensive front well. I think Mitchell's boy got in there and got a few tackles behind for a loss there a couple of times. Did he not?
Yeah, that's little Ethan.
Little Ethan got in there. Yeah.
The littlest man with the biggest heart. That's what I call him.
Littlest man with the biggest heart.
Right. Little number 68. Ethan's a great ball player. Plus he played a little offense tonight too. So when we go to the Flack attack, he goes in at tight end and block down, and Flack's leading around the end. So he did a little bit of everything too.
I thought they had a really good game. Hats off to the Burns Bulldogs. Had an excellent season. Can't say enough about Keywan Parr.
I tell you what, that's a tough young man. He's tough. Anytime you got him in the game, he can take it to the distance. So I was still a little. I still was nervous a little bit when it went that forward head, cause one run and he's gone.
Yeah, because it was fun. Y'all had him in some deep third and 17 and 3rd and 18, and y'all had them in some third situations, and you know they'll find a way. If it wasn't Pryor, it was Leslie. KJ Leslie had a really good game receiving as well.
Yeah, they was ready to play, no doubt about it. Great football game for Cleveland County. I tell you, if anybody want to question who got the best county in Cleveland County, North Carolina, I put up Cleveland County against any of them.
And you would be right, and I would too. Of course, now I'm kind of biased. I'm from Cleveland County.
Yeah, you know the truth, the truth.
The truth is the truth.
What is it they say about if the shoe fits, wear it? And in this case, the shoe does fit.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There you go. Well, Steve, we got Joel here tonight, and I'm sure he's going to give us a feeling for the Kings Mountaineers tonight.
Lord
that we're
mercy.
going. I tell you what, talk about a fantastic game.
That was an awesome ball game.
I got Terry over here on my right. I got Joel over here the other side of Will. We're going to talk about Kings Mountain a little while and be fair because, you know, Steve, I hate to tell you, but y'all didn't have to go 7 overtimes tonight. But you had a great game, and you guys are going to, I think, get your next state championship come Saturday when the Shelby High School Golden Lions will be taking on the Salisbury. What are the Salisbury mascots, Terry? Do you remember?
Oh,
Salisbury Steaks. Yeah, way to go, Calvin.
ain't it the Hornets?
The Hornet?
Hornets. Yeah.
Say the Hornet?
Yeah,
That's why we have Joel come in here to straighten us out.
Steve DeGree, I just want to congratulate y'all and going back to the state, representing us, and Burns, congratulate. There's only one team can get to go, but y'all did a good season, and I got to see y'all early in the first game of the season. I knew y'all was going to be there battling for a championship and just unfortunately we came up short, but it was, you talk about fans at the stadium or people watching on the phones and or the internet, they had the best seat in the house too.
Well, you know, like I said, Coach Lowe is a great man that I hate to hear to lose. And Kings Mountain doing a great job too. Reverend Caleb Mack. I remember when I coached against him in middle school, man, we couldn't stop him. They give it to him. He just dragged us. He was a man in his 8th grade. So the Mack kid and of course Paysar, all was good. That was always good players. I just hate that they had to lose. I just wanted both of the teams to represent Cleveland County.
Well, Steve, we appreciate you calling in this season. You got one more game. I don't know what we're going to be doing. If we're going to be doing a Friday night pre-Shelby championship game next week or not, Calvin hadn't given us the word on that yet. We will be broadcasting, I'm sure, the Shelby championship game at 3 o'clock there from, like we said, BB&T Stadium there in Winston-Salem.
That's
so
a nice stadium.
If you don't get to go down, tune in and listen. Now, as far as the video, we don't know that yet because, you know, Time Warner Cable, somehow they had a deal, and I don't know if that's still on or not. Calvin is going to check on it this week, and we'll go from there. Steve, thank you very much for taking your time each week to call us and share with us the Shelby High School Golden Lions game in review. Win or lose, we can always count on Steve to come through and give us his take on how the Golden Lions performed that night.
Yeah, I just once again I want to say congratulations to the Shelby High School for representing the Cleveland County again. And I didn't get to make the state last year, but I'll be there this time.
All right, Steve, we'll see.
Good job over there, buddy.
Thank you, man. Once a Golden Line, always a Golden Line.
I hear you, man. Yeah, they showed us what it's all about. Anyway. But, you know, Steve's come off, and I know that. But in our pregame show, I talked to a lot of people, and Coach Ponder said that Shelby, man for man, and like I said, he's coached at Burns, and he's coached at Newton Conover before he come to West Lincoln. He said man for man, player for player is the best Shelby team that he has ever seen.
I heard that in the pregame. So.
You know,
And when another coach says that about you and he's faced you at 3 different places, you know, that is one heck of a credit. But, you know, and we go back to Kings Mountain, I don't care who you are, if you're a Kings Mountain fan or if you're us, that's a tough way to lose. And that's not going to go away from you for a long time. But, you know, and when we get here, and the thing that I keep telling people, and I know people don't want to hear it now, but Charlotte Catholic does not beat themselves. I mean, there's plays like in that game. I mean, you know, there wasn't no plays turned away. Both teams had great defenses, 7-7, and then you go into overtime, and it's like, we're going to do what we got to do, and we're going to hope you make a mistake.
Terry, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Annapolis.
Yeah.
But there's a fight in there, Joel, and the two guys are just slugging it out, toe to toe, and they get knocked down and they get up. And he knocks the instructor down, and he gets up. And in the end, it comes down, you're pulling for the guy that's the cadet to win, but the tie goes to the instructor.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of feeling you had with this game. I hate that either one of those teams had to lose, but it was an uphill battle for Kings Mountain to go to Keffer Stadium and perform as well. And there is no quit in that team, Joel. This is a fantastic effort. When that guy lost to the instructor in that what they called Annapolis, when they have the, you know, anybody can fight, and the guy had eat Twinkies and candy bars and loaf bread so he could get up to weight. When he left, the people stood and cheered because they knew the great effort he had put into that fight. And that's the same thing we can say about Kings Mountain tonight at Catholic. What a fighting spirit at Catholic. There was no quit in Kings Mountain tonight.
Well, y'all asked me to do my job.
Yep.
I went and did my job.
You predicted Catholic.
Well, no. It has nothing to do with that. I mean,
on the overtimes.
But the overtimes, this game tied a record for the state of North Carolina. Yeah. They tied a record way back in Mooresville against Lake Norman, October the 13th of 2006. The game was tied 28-all. It went to overtime, and Mooresville won 68-21 in overtime. So this game is a tie in the state of North Carolina with one other team for 7 overtimes.
Wow.
Yeah, I was about to say, I said, well, we're going in 7. I said, we just tied the playoff record.
And there is nothing. Let me make this clear. Kings Mountain, you have nothing to hang your head about in this contest, losing at that place to that team.
You lost to a team, the Charlotte Catholic, and to me it's phenomenal. Since 2010, since they won today, they are 136-15.
136.
Since 2010.
Wow. And Joel, don't take this the wrong way. I've been to Keffer Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
We beat them twice down there, Terry. You better bring a truckload because it cost us a state championship, Terry, because by the time that game was over, our guys were so beat up they could actually not physically play the next week. And I'm talking about some tough guys. They won the game, but they lost the championship.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid, you know, had Kings Mountain been victorious tonight, they might have faced that similar situation. You don't go to Catholic and beat those big guys and walk away with no bruises. We got a caller
Why
on
are you
the
looking
line.
at me,
Well,
Terry?
I was wanting to say one more thing, and you talk about the young man who gave us the video to go do this game. I want to thank him again over there at Charlotte Catholic.
Yeah.
We had over 3,500 viewers.
Yeah, that's Mr.
At one
David
time.
Brinkley.
That's 3,500 computers.
Yes.
Computer
That's what
IP
I'm
address.
saying.
We had over 3,500
Yeah.
viewers.
Yeah,
That's
Will and,
that's what I'm talking about just on the computer. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
yeah, Will and Calvin and I were looking at one
And
computer.
that's not saying how many there was watching, because when it kept going into overtime, there was more
It
and
was
more
more.
and more. And that's, you know how media is and social media. It got to one person, then went to another one, then to another one, and all of a sudden, you don't know how many other people were watching beyond that one who turned on their computer.
Calvin
And
told me.
I believe it was people in Charlotte watching as well
Yeah.
as
Oh,
it
yeah.
was is people out of Cleveland County.
And
Awesome game.
Calvin said over at Kings Mountain, they get together at the country club, Joel, over there at your country club, and they have a big TV in there,
See.
and there might be 30 or 40 guys
That's what
in
I'm
there
saying.
watching the game. So, Mr. Brinkley, I believe you got your money's worth tonight. And Robbie Morgan, thank you for the Burns-Shelby broadcast tonight.
Yeah.
I think you probably got your money's worth, too. We got a caller on the line, JP. Who we got?
Yeah, we got a fan on the line. He wants to talk about the Shelby game.
All right. Love to hear from him. Who we got?
Hey, how you doing? My name is Brandon Finney, sir. How you doing?
Oh,
Doing good,
Brandon,
sir.
good to hear from you. You've called before. I remember you, man. Talk to us.
Yeah, I talked to you about that Chris game when they were still in, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about that game, that Burns game tonight, man. It's
All right.
just, you know, Burns ain't got nothing to hold their head down about. You know what I'm saying? During the regular
Absolutely
season, they got
not.
beat twice. Once by Shelby and once by Kings Mountain. You know what I'm saying? Sweezy and Pride and the rest of them boys, they ain't got nothing to hold their head down about. You lose some, you win some. You know what I'm saying? It's not the end of the world for those boys. They still got basketball season. It's no need for them to hang their head about nothing at all.
Well, actually, none of the Cleveland County teams, I don't think, have anything to be ashamed of. You got Kings Mountain tonight taking Charlotte Catholic at Charlotte Catholic into 7 overtimes. That's unheard of and unprecedented to go down there and try to do that at Keffer Stadium. You got Burns. If you would have told the people at Burns 2 years ago, you're going to be playing Shelby in the 4th round of the playoffs, they would have looked like you and said, huh? But they knew something back then, and they had faith because they called the program here and said, things are going to get better. Coach Devine is our coach. We got some good players. And they proved it to everybody. And Shelby is on a different level right now. They're going for, we said what? Steve said seven out of 8 championships. That's unprecedented. Terry, you know of any other team in the state other than Reedsville that might have a record like that?
Independence.
Independence, yeah. And you know who beat them.
I think
They was in point bracket. That's when they had Tommy Knox.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's it.
And hey, speaking of Tommy Knox, he'll be going for another state championship tomorrow in South Carolina with Dorman. That'll be his 4th straight if they win tomorrow down there.
And the last but certainly not least, the conference champion Crest Chargers. So all 4 teams have something to celebrate and look forward to in the coming year. Joel, you were going to say something.
I think Charlotte Catholic would be right in that situation, but I forgot what year it was, but they was in the 4A too.
Yeah.
And that's what ended their streak to get to the state title, but they was still almost just being in the state title game.
Since 2000, they've been there a total of 9 times. They've won 5 and runner-up 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's not too bad.
No.
You hate being runner-up in anything. However, JP, we got another caller.
Y'all have a blessed day. Y'all be safe.
Thank you
for
for
calling.
calling. Thank
We
you for calling,
appreciate
Brandon. We
that.
appreciate you calling in.
Always, man. Nice to listen to you. Ain't talking to you. Y'all be blessed and drive safe.
All right.
Thank you,
brother.
brother.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Any of you other folks out there, Burns fans, we'd love to hear from you. You've had a great season. Give us a call. Terry?
Well, I want to mention one other thing. Calvin, come in here. Our next broadcast for us, we're going to do it next Saturday morning amongst all of us in here on Saturday morning before. If you're going to the game, you're still going to have time to get there. You come here. We'll all be in here. We'll go over state championship that day. But it'll be next Saturday morning starting at 8 o'clock.
Oh.
And then,
We get a Mitchum's biscuit.
That's
Hey,
tell
Will.
you. And then
Mitchum
anybody
Kitchen
on
is
your
something
way.
special, I'm trying to tell you.
We might show up for that one, Terry.
That's it.
We're matching the pregame.
Oh,
and
you
the
gonna eat my
postseason.
biscuit?
That's it.
Don't eat my biscuit.
Wait, the way you keep talking about it.
So next Saturday, they'll cover basketball, but as far as football goes, we'll doing it next Saturday morning. So don't forget, next Saturday morning,
So,
the
us
guys
Saturday
on
morning.
the pregame show, postgame show, and the Saturday morning sports talk all be doing
Oh,
one
it
show.
ain't enough mics for all of us to be in
Well,
here at
if
one
y'all
time.
all move out of the way, I'll take care of it.
We finally get Terry to talk.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
we got the Bulldog on the line.
All right.
Let's talk to Tommy.
Hey guys,
Hey, what's
Hey.
going on, Tommy?
not a whole lot. Just got in, just kind of licking my wounds here a little bit. Will just got beat by a better team tonight. Nothing else you could say. Congratulations to Shelby. They're moving on, and
congratulations to our team for a great season. You know, you go that deep in the playoffs, 4th round. You know, still a great season. Everybody left us for dead after that Kings Mountain game. You know, they wanted to burn the town down and kill the coach, but turned around and had a great season.
Beat Crest.
Didn't play our best game tonight, and you know, Jeff and Brent said that was their best game of the year. And you know what I feel is, you know, it's a big stage, and the fact that you've been there a number of times is going to help you over a team that hasn't been on that big a stage. And last week was pretty big, but you know, Shelby's been down this road before, and they've been victors before, and they were the more poised, composed, and you know, executing. You know, they executed their game plan very well and what they wanted to do, and that's why they won the ball game.
Well, experience does count for something, Tom. And you and Matt, I want to say you guys have done a great job this year. I have seen some comments from the Burns people complimenting you guys on the broadcast and how you represent the school, and I just want to give kudos to you and Matt for what you've done with the broadcast of Burns High School sports here. And you guys had a great year, too.
Well, we appreciate that, and the community supporting us. But, you know, just like I tell everybody every time I say something, you know, make sure you thank the station because, you know, Calvin and Kevin make it possible, and thank all the sponsors, and especially Robbie Morgan Funeral Home for providing the funding for the video tonight. You know, a lot of people don't realize that without those sponsors, it's just not possible. So, especially the Morgan Funeral Home for you know, it's a pretty little hefty bar tab there to pick that one up, and they pick it up for us, and we appreciate that and what they do, and to make it possible for, you know, Trent Marty's family was watching in Ohio, and Silas Tate, his family was watching from out of state, and some of these other people that wouldn't get to see the video broadcast if it wasn't for the station and the sponsors. So I just can't say that enough.
Well, Tom, I appreciate the job that you guys have done, and I want to send out congratulations to Coach Devine and all of the Burns players, the kids that have been there, the seniors. They finally had a season that they can really be proud of in their 4-year career here, and they went out as definitely winners, whether the final score was in their favor or not. You guys got to the 4th round. If you had told the Burns fans before the season started, hey, you know, we're going to play Shelby in the 4th round, Tom, they might have you know, looked at you a little funny, but that's exactly what Coach Devine and the Burns Bulldogs did this year, and we want to congratulate them on their fine finish.
Well, I think the coaching staff and the players knew they could. After the Kings Mountain game early in the season, there's always going to be some doubters, but you know, you come out of the gate with one of the best, you know, 3A teams in the state, and just tough luck for Kings Mountain. I heard they came up a little bit short against Catholic tonight, and I was
7 overtimes, Tom.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, that's really, really tough. And I heard it was an interception at the end of the game. And you know, my heart goes out to Coach Lloyd and his staff and his kids. And you know, they had a really great season. They really drew a bad draw. They probably, you know, 1 or 2 games away from that game being at Kings Mountain, and maybe it comes out different. And plus, they're playing a team that can recruit players and drawing from, you know, a metropolitan area of about 1 million kids. So, you know, it's a great job for, you know, Coach Lloyd to take them to the brink like that. And, you know, congratulations to he and his kids for a great season that they had. But getting back to what I was talking about, a lot of people doubted Coach Devine. And, you know, I'll just tell anybody, you know, Coach Devine is our guy. He is a Burns guy. He is a community guy. He loves that school, and he loves those players. So anybody out there, if you doubt Coach Devine, you're just wrong. And I'm thankful to the many people who do support the program and the coaching staff, not just Coach Devine, you know, Coach Cogdell and, you know, Coach Goss, Coach Beaver. A lot of them have been there for a while and supported the programs and part of the community. And they do a great job. They care about the kids. They really have legitimate care and concern for the kids in the program, and it's more about them being human beings, good human beings, even than football players. So just if you're out there and you're listening in your Burns community, make sure you thank these guys and show your appreciation some guys like the armchair quarterback and this and that, but I put our coaching staff up against anybody in the state. They do a great job.
Oh, I agree with you 100%, Tom.
And
I was wanting to know if did y'all do any final tallies on stats or what the end of the year? Had you had the chance? What did y'all have tonight?
Yeah, Keelan had 180 yards. I can't remember on how many carries. Matt had the stats, and with him, Jari Mitchell had 6 touchdowns. I mean, what more can you say? But I didn't have a tremendous amount of stats outside of Pryor. I want to say Bivens had 14 tackles. He was our defensive player of the game. Pryor was our offensive player of the game. So, the stat sheet for Shelby probably looked a lot better. We didn't have theirs, but I tell you what, I was really impressed with Isaiah Best. I mean, I got there early and just watched the kid warm up, and he's really got a big league arm, man. I mean, he's a good kid. That kid's been to my house, man. I buy one of those little cards from him every year that he sold, little discount cards. He came over to my house, and just a yes sir, no sir kid, and just a good kid. And of course, you want to, he was in our program for a while and decided to go over there, but he's had a good, successful career over there, and that's good to see. I mean, I like to see good kids succeed, and he's done a good job over there. And I also want to talked about Coach Vine. Coach Wilbanks does a good job with those boys over there.
Absolutely.
He has big shoes to fill, and I'm sure, like I said earlier, I'm not sure if anybody was doubting him. Lance had been over there for a long time, just did a fantastic job, but Coach Wilbanks is my neighbor. He lives up here about 2 or 3 houses up from me, and I've been talking to him the times I have. You can just tell he's a quality individual. He's got a good program, and he's a good guy, good dad, good coach, and he had a lot of success this year. So if anybody doubted him, he proved them wrong. So congratulations to him and his kids, and they're moving on, and good luck to them next week.
Well, Tom, I think you chastised me a little bit last week, so tell me a little bit about that Ohio State team. I know you're a Buckeye.
Yeah, you're talking about they went down there to Carolina and just beat them.
Oh my goodness! Here we go.
I mean, you got your high rolling freshmen coming there, but sometimes it doesn't mesh right away. And Ohio State's got a couple of. Seems like they got a couple kids. The Wesson kid's been there a while, and a couple others, and they've been putting it together. When Mata left, a lot of people were wondering if we can put it together, but the program is definitely on the upswing, and the Big Ten did beat the ACC. I'm sure that burned up Terry a little bit. That the Big Ten won something, and I'm sure.
No, it probably didn't burn him up too much because State won.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, yeah. But hey, what Tom's forgetting is his former quarterback, who plays for the Redskins, came to Carolina last week and not only beat the Panthers, got the coach fired.
We'll probably talk about that tomorrow. The sad thing is, I really feel that Ron Rivera is a really good human being. I think he's a good guy, and he's a good coach, and he embraced the city. And but when you change ownership, though, that's not his guy, and that's all it was. He's not Telford's guy.
Yeah.
So,
and I will say this, Tom. I think by doing it now, Tepper said that, and I think Ron realizes that a couple of days later. By letting him go now, because Ron said, well, I was expecting it at the end of the year. What he's done is he's put Ron in the position to be the number one coach that people were looking at to replace some of the coaches that are going to get replaced this year. So I think and Ron has a chance. He said the other day that if he wanted to get back in the college ranks, that Cal Berkeley is the only school he'd consider. So he's going to land on his feet, and he's going to do very well.
Yeah, they've talked about him at the Giants job. They've been whispers maybe the Cleveland job because he worked with the defensive coordinator Wilkes up there. I mean, I don't know. People throwing some ideas around, but he'll be fine.
He's going to Dallas. He's going to end up at Dallas.
No, I don't think he will. I think this Urban Meyer thing may come to fruition. I'm not sure. There's a lot of rumors, but you know how Jerry Jones likes a big flashy name, and Urban Meyer in Dallas, Texas.
I've heard about him possibly at Carolina, but I think Ron might be your next guy for the Browns.
Yeah, I heard. It depends on if they fire Freddie, and I really think Kitchens is a good man and wants to do well. You're starting to see some things that happen if you're a position coach and you've been promoted maybe a little too quickly.
Well, the thing of it is, Tom, when you're an assistant coach, you're the player's best friend and buddy. When you're the head coach, it's a different role and a different story. I don't think Freddie made that transition from being their pal and their buddy to being their disciplinarian.
Yeah, and his decision making can be questioned. I mean, it's just time management, player management. So they have some issues going on, and the sad thing is it's not like he's a terrible human being. It's just I mean, I don't think I don't think I could be the coach of the Cleveland Browns today. It's like, everybody thinks that they can do it better, but like I've said on the Saturday show, there's 32 teams in the NFL, and probably 12 guys capable of coaching a team. There's about 20 guys. It's just a coaching carousel. You're there for a couple of years, then you're not. It's arguably one of the hardest jobs ever to manage. I mean, you're trying to manage all the personalities. It's not like a basketball team. Basketball team, you got 12 or 13. With a football team, you got
52.
53. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's just a tough job. A lot of different personalities and media coming at you from 8 different angles, and fans, and everybody knows what to do better than you. I mean, it's just tough. And then the pressure of trying to win ball games, and every game's so huge because it's only 16 game schedule. So, I mean, everybody thinks they want the job, but you got to find somebody up to the challenge. So I don't know which direction the Browns are going to go in. Rivera, would he be an upgrade? Well, sure. He's got the experience and whatnot, but he's got his mind to make up too. But I really do hope that he does land on his feet and ends up somewhere. Because, like I said, I think he's a good guy. I think he's a quality coach. The only thing, and not me. I'm not even really a Panthers fan, but it's just let the man finish the season. Yeah. What do you do? Unless he said he wanted out, then he might have said, go ahead and let me go. But that man served that city for almost 9 years. Let him finish the year. Well, whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
I think it was done because the plan for the tank for the Panthers is on now, and I don't think they wanted to ruin.
It's about the draft,
right? I don't think they wanted to ruin his coaching record, but because they're finna tank the season, so that's why they went on ahead and took him out now, so he didn't have these losses that they finna put on the Panthers on his.
I guess maybe they ought to start Greer and just see what they got. I mean,
I don't think you can hurt. I don't think you can hurt anything by
you're going to be
Greer.
seeing a lot of guys that you didn't even know was on the roster in the next 4 games.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of
It's
people.
tryout time.
Yeah.
Everybody's fighting for their job.
Yeah, so I mean, I really don't. But, the Panthers has been, people can say this or that. Considering the age of the organization, it's been a good organization. Considering it's not been around a whole lot. They've made some deep playoff runs. They've been to a couple of Super Bowls. So somebody will want that job, and they'll get the ship, righted and turned around and going in the right direction. So it's just going to be a matter of management finding a coach they like, and somebody will come there. McCaffrey's there.
Yeah.
They got some other. They got some talent on both sides of the ball. They need some upgrades in certain positions. They're going to probably look for a quarterback. I don't think Newton's coming back. I don't think
he's he and Ron may end up in Chicago, but I'm going to let you guys talk about all that stuff tomorrow because we got a caller on the line, Tom, and we appreciate the job you've done this year for the Burns Bulldogs and the job you've done for KTC. And next Saturday morning, we're going to be here and have a little discussion prior to the show.
It's going to be a full house next Saturday morning.
You better get your biscuit order in early.
You better get your biscuit order in early. This is gonna be a full house in here. We'll have all 3 shows in here. We'll have the pregame show, the postgame show, and the Saturday morning.
booth probably too. We'll probably have 3 people in here.
I'll probably be in there with you, JP.
There we go. Yeah.
Just so I can keep you under control.
Oh, really?
I'll come hang out with you.
Thanks for what you guys do. Thanks for what you guys do, and I'll let you take the other caller. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Appreciate you now.
JP, who we got? Hello, caller. Hello.
Did you lose him, JP?
Back at me. Check.
Hello.
All right, who we got?
What's up?
Oh Lord,
Hey.
Jesus is Kevin.
What?
Hey,
What is up?
is your voice still there?
Well, I don't know what to say about what I just watched.
Kevin, I wanted, before you even go into discussion, because I'm gonna let you and Joel have this segment. Before you even go into discussion,
Yes, sir.
do not mention anything about shiny stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll tell you later.
You know, it sort of looks like a Tootsie Roll. By the way, Kevin, I want to compliment you. Your dad and I sat there and watched, along with 3,500 viewers or computers tonight, and
Right.
I want to compliment you. I thought you did a real good job tonight, Kevin. You may have a
Well,
career
thank
in
you.
this
I
broadcasting thing after all.
I appreciate it. We had a little fun. I mean, just a weird. I don't know what to say about that game. Like, and I hate complaining about referees because I've refereed, I've umpired, I know it, but like guys,
I don't think you really hate complaining about it.
You're good at it.
You're good at it.
Hey, listen. So let's start at the rules for this overtime stuff.
Oh.
So we played 4 quarters and had 2 touchdowns scored.
Yes.
The rules are the
Then we
rules,
had-
Kevin.
Then in overtime, whatever genius decided these rules, we
The ru-
had 13 touchdowns in overtime. Like if the point of overtime is to make it quick, right? Like we could have played a whole 4th quarter and played real football. Kings Mountain, I don't think would get beat by Catholic if the team's got the ball at the 40.
Oh,
But
advantage
Get
Catholic.
there 10. When they went to overtime, we looked at each other. We was like, well, maybe Kings Mountain should have tried to score there at the end of the game because it is advantage Catholic or South Point or whoever else is running an offense like that if you get the ball on the 10-yard line.
I'm
Because
just surprised.
when you're playing assignment football, you're bending and not breaking, and you're hoping for a big play or a penalty or something. And it's just, see, guys, no matter who won that game, it was unfair to whoever lost for 13 touchdowns to be in overtime and only 2 in regular.
And
regular.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, the thing I want to say here about Catholic, Kevin, you saw a typical Catholic lineup tonight. I want to know how they got 2 guys in that one uniform of that guy in the middle, number 78. He looked like a
75.
skyscraper. You know.
Yeah, 75. He's listed at 6'4", 315. I would bet he's a little bit bigger than that on the
I
weight.
guarantee you, he's every bit of a 350.
Oh, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
So let's kind of, and we do this a lot when Kings Mountain loses, and we kind of expect it, kind of like we can count all the mistakes and go back, but like they had 6 chances they could have went for 2 in overtime and won the game.
Yeah.
So you could put that on them. But like what I was saying, something about the referees earlier, there was a clear fumble earlier in the first quarter, maybe second quarter. The quarterback dropped back to throw. He got hit from behind.
That second quarter.
The ball comes,
yeah.
right. The ball came out. Referees threw their fumble beanbags on the ground. The Kings Mountain jumps on the ball. The referees come in and look at each other, and they all look at each other, and then they start talking, and then the head referee says incomplete.
Well, what I want to know.
He was the one standing right behind the quarterback when it happened. He should have called it. If it was incomplete, shouldn't he have called it right then instead of? I mean, it was clear 5-6 seconds. Ball's on the ground. Who's got it? Kings Mountain's got it. Oh no, it's incomplete.
Well, why did they run every series of the overtime in front of the Charlotte Catholic student section? What was wrong with the other end of the field?
Kings Mountain. The first one was on the other side. So
Yeah.
what happened was they got into this game of tic-tac-toe basically, where Kings Mountain wanted to go second, and Catholic wanted the ball on the side of the field. So when Catholic won the toss, they chose the side of the field and let Kings Mountain choose whatever they wanted for ball. But when Kings Mountain won the ball, they chose to give Catholic the ball first, and then Catholic chose their side of the field. So no matter what happened, it was going to be the same thing. Apparently, in our little our tic-tac-toe stalemate we're having here.
Mm.
Well, I'm
and
like,
then Kings Mountain had another fumble later in the game, and then they
Third
called,
quarter.
and then then they just the ball rolled in front of the referee and the middle referee at right behind the linebacker.
Right.
The ball rolled in front of his feet.
Mm-hmm.
The ball rolled in front of his feet. He saw people jump on the ball, and then when he sees the Kings Mountain people with the ball, he says the ball is down.
yeah.
They just look at each other, and they honestly goes. And then on the interception, y'all, I really can't make it up. The ref didn't even know the kid picked it off.
Oh, yeah.
Every
Your
single
dad and I made that comment, and we ran that back on the film.
Yeah.
How many times? 6 or 7 times.
Yeah,
And the
looked at that play.
receiver-
We was waiting for Joel to get here.
Yeah. The receiver, Joel, I believe, was knocked down by one of the Catholic guys.
Yeah.
And then the...
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, I'm like Kevin though. The referee, I don't know. I've been the last 5 years. I've been aggravated when they throw flags, and I said, you gonna throw it? You gonna throw the flag? Call something. Not this.
Right.
Waving.
But like you said though, I seen it where in third quarter when I seen that referee threw that beanbag and I seen that ball rolling. Next thing you know, I seen a guy holding the ball up. Kings Mountain's got it, and he said, "Oh, it's Catholic ball." And I'm like, that made me come out of my seat.
That's the only time that beanbag come out is when it's a turnover. When that ball goes on the ground, that beanbag goes to mark where that spot.
Well,
it's just like on a punt, and the ball bounces. If one of the defensive players touch that ball and then let it start rolling, they throw the beanbag there to mark where the player touched the ball at.
Yeah. Well, the only thing, Will, that I can come up with was these guys were afraid they were going to be excommunicated if they didn't make certain calls.
I mean, honestly, we talked to everyone else in the press box, and nobody else in the press box saw the actual interception. We saw the carom, we saw bodies go everywhere, and then the kid for Catholic started celebrating. All the referees on the field all pretty much threw their hands up. Like,
never made a call.
They never made a call.
Never made a call.
And then the head referee starts waving them off the field, and they just run off the field. So, I mean, I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what all I watched. I can complain about the refs all night, fine. I can complain about Kings Mountain not going for 2 all night, fine. But the biggest thing to me is this 13 touchdowns in overtime and 2 in the regulation. It's not football. It's almost like a home run derby or a kickoff or kicks in soccer, to where it's like Kings, like I said, you got 10 yards to stop somebody. Now, I do want to say that Kobe Pacehour tonight put them on their backs there in the second quarter with all the passes and catches he made. Kobe played outstanding. He was our overall player of the game. Kalen Mack was our offensive player of the game. Once they figured out, like, as far as Kalen goes, when they were in a regular 3 or 4 man front, he was blowing them up.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna disagree with you with the player of the game.
Yeah, we call this. Calvin and Will and I sit back and watch the player of the game for Kings Mountain.
There's three of them.
It's a 3-way tie. The snapper, the center who snapped the ball,
the long snapper,
the holder who placed the ball down, and the kicker who made every kick tonight.
Every one of those were pressure kicks.
I agree on the kicks. Like, we talked how awful it would be if a hold or an extra point is missed here with 7 damn touchdowns, and we're out here missing extra point. But I can't give it to the long snapper. He snapped one over the punter's head earlier in the night.
FCC didn't hear that, by the way, Kevin.
Kevin.
Oh, FCC and your daddy did not hear that. But how about losing a state championship on an extra point? I know somebody that did that.
Yeah.
The only thing that I say, Kevin, is I think you're
Hold on, Terry.
Yeah, the only thing I say about your state championships and your overtimes, I think it should alternate. I don't think it should be where somebody always going to get it first and you can get it last every time. I don't think that should ever come around. I think if you get it first, then the next time they get it, and it swaps back and forth.
Hey, what about the ball on the 25 or something like that?
Well,
in college, that's where they put the ball.
College. I agree with that.
Yeah,
You
in
have
college,
no
that's where they put
you
it
have
at.
no room to throw the ball. The rules by themselves dominated that huge Catholic offensive line to just bulldoze. Like we were talking about one time, that one touchdown they got, it was a stampede down there. You know, wild cows couldn't have stopped that crowd.
Yeah. Kevin, I got one question.
Go ahead.
Yes,
I'm gonna have
sir.
to.
Go ahead, Joel.
Oh, I'm sorry. I noticed in the first quarter, what was the deal about Kobe Payshire getting his helmet knocked off? Was that I was just kind of like misfortune. I seen Greg Lloyd was all over the referee. What was all that about?
I'm not sure. That might have been on the incomplete pass that we thought was pass interference to Kobe. Did he get his helmet knocked off on that play off? On the interference? Was that the one he got his helmet knocked
like
off?
when he threw it, because I seen the helmet. Seen the helmet got popped off. Next thing you know, I seen Greg Lloyd all over him.
So Catholic was playing press coverage cover 2 deep. So the safeties were sitting 15 yards off the ball outside the hash mark. And I mean, they were doing, guys, they were having some plays where they thought it was a passing down. They were just sending two people out in front of Kobe like a punt return. Like they weren't even hiding that they were doubling him. So they had somebody over the top. So that play up the sideline, they thought he had him in man. Safety rolled over. Kobe beat the corner. And Ethan threw kind of a high pass he had to jump up for, and when he did, the corner ran right into Kobe's chest and knocked him out of bounds, and the safety come over. I think the second hit is the one that ended up knocking his helmet off, and I don't know if it was on the other side of the field, so I don't know if Lloyd wanted a helmet-to-helmet or if he just wanted the pass interference that we all thought should have been called. But between the fumbles and the, I don't know, those fumbles were obvious fumbles. Everybody thought it was, and one they called an incomplete, and the other they said the guy was down. And in both situations, the guy closest to it should have made the call and didn't. Weird stuff. But the 13 touchdowns in overtime, I don't know if I'll ever get over that stat right there. Hey, Will, I'm gonna call you tomorrow and be like, hey man, you're gonna score 6 touchdowns in overtime and lose.
Say it again now.
You scored 6 touchdowns in overtime and lost.
Yeah, you threw an interception in. You threw an interception in the end zone.
To quote Shakespeare, there's something rotten in Denmark.
Listen, I get it, and I get the clip of the receiver on that play. But
I don't know. He probably the interception.
Paysar was
he was
on.
trying to force that.
Yeah, that was Paysar was naked 1-on-1. I take Paysar all day long on the left hand side. On that left hand, he was over in the corner. He was open.
Hey, he called it
1-on-1. If you throw that ball over there, we probably still playing football right now.
Oh no!
I mean, hey, Will, you know that they did that. They did that the very series before. They just first play. They just
first play. They
stop it.
But
you thought you go right back to that same play. Anytime he's 1-on-1 with a defender, there's no defender that's gonna check him 1-on-1, break that. I'll take him all day long on 1-on-1 coverage. Well, you don't force the ball down the middle of the field where everybody's packed up at. So, I mean, it's just a bad throw.
That's the wrong place to put that. You know, it should have been, guys. Really good to goodness. It could have been 7-0 ball game. We never go to overtime. But Kings Mountain got a roughing the kicker penalty. Automatic first down.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
And you also have to think about Kevin there at the end with about 40 seconds left and the reverse that they run. They had 2 guys wide open down the field, and they went with the short guy. If they'd have hit the guy on down the field, he'd have walked in.
Yeah, I seen it.
They might have caught. They probably could have caught him. That was the tight end that got loose. But they would have got a field goal. I mean,
yeah, he'd have been in field goal range. That's for sure.
But Terry, the guy throwing it, I'm not sure that he's a the one that ended up throwing it has that good of an
Oh,
arm.
I'm with
or
you, but I'm just saying that
I think it was the tight end or fullback actually. I can't remember exactly who threw it, but yeah, you're right. The guy was streaking up the middle of the field and they didn't hit him.
Yeah.
Just a weird game all around. Like just so many different comments.
I thought now on the on the personal foul, roughing the passer.
For the kicker?
Yeah, now I thought you had to run into the plant leg. Now he ran into his kicking leg.
Yeah, he hit the kick leg and spun him around.
He spun him around. So I thought that was a 5-yard penalty, not a 15-yard penalty. Terry,
that's what I was. I don't know.
Am I wrong? Is running into the kicker? Ain't there the difference between?
There's one of them referee judgment calls.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'll tell you right now, whatever the judgment was in Catholic, it was going Catholic's way.
That is true.
Yeah, the only penalties on Catholic were 5-yard, procedure penalties. There was no holding. There was no defensive pass interference. It was false starts. That was the only thing all night called on them.
Well, when the game was over, did the refs shower and put on their hassocks and leave, or what?
Nobody knows.
No,
they disappear so fast.
They pulled the rosary beads out and had a prayer for the Cougars.
Yeah.
Well, I saw the head ref when the thing was over. He was on the side and he was pointing to them other guys. Let's leave. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's all I seen.
Yeah, he was ready to go.
Kevin, one thing I just got to say about this thing.
We're in the third round of the playoffs, and the referees are throwing their arms up at each other because they don't know what's going on. And like I said, you gave up 50 points. You had your chance to stop them 7 times in overtime. They could have done it. So you had, you blame the referees for this or that, but you can't blame them for giving up 56, 7 touchdowns in overtime. Yeah. So what a weird night. What do you think? I don't know. This team. Hey, these two teams may be playing each other next year, guys. I may have called 5 seniors' names tonight all night long. It was all sophomores and juniors for both teams, except for Kalen Mack.
Okay.
Well, guys, I've been here on here a long time. Y'all got any other more weird questions for me? I know I've been on the radio and talking.
Yeah.
No, just stay, because we got to take a break and then come back and you can close the show.
I'm dropping people off. I got to kind of go in a second, but I just do want to say, I want to talk real quick, say some good things. Kobe Pace there tonight. I just high pointing the ball and finding the ball. He was kind of disappeared earlier. They did a good job covering him up. He broke open the second half. Where Kalen Mack, if he got any bit of a hole, he was getting 7 to 15 yards. So when the line was, if they could get away from 75, that was really the big deal on that. Reed threw some good throws, like that one at the last one. What do you say? You scored 46. You scored 6 touchdowns in overtime. Maybe that's a coaching thing where you don't throw it over the middle. I don't know if that's his read or what on that. But just overall, what a great season, Kings Mountain, Kobe Pace, Kalen Mack, and Reed. And the defense, guys, before the game, I predicted Kings Mountain 20 to 10. I called in the pregame show, said 20 to 10 Kings Mountain tonight. And the defense really showed up. I don't know how you count bad defense in overtime. We only giving up 10 yards. So I don't know.
All right. Well, tune in the morning, Kevin. You're going to be here to talk about, the Dallas Cowboys.
I got to talk about how the Cowboys, the Panthers, and the Browns all have 7 losses, and I told y'all it was going to happen 3 years ago, but nobody listened. So,
We're still in first place.
You're right.
And if you lose, you'll still be in first place.
By half a game.
Terry's 100% right. And Ron Rivera, when he was fired yesterday, reminded folks that he did have back-to-back division-winning seasons with a 7-8-1 season.
Yeah.
He said I'm mad that y'all don't recognize that. What, dude? He had 3 winning seasons in 9 years. So I mean, you're fired, bub.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch,
Jason Garrett's had 1 losing season in Dallas, and whatever. Get rid of him. But I saw done with talking.
Oh my Lord! Here we go.
What? But think about it though. Garrett's had 1 losing season in his career in Dallas, and Ron Rivera had 6. And they're talking about should we have kept Rivera? I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about that in the morning. Guys, had a fun night tonight. I want to thank all of our high school viewers, all of our listeners over this year to helping us out in football. And I guess we're going to have a big Saturday next week for the Golden Lions.
you got it. Good.
All right, guys.
Thanks for calling, Kevin. All right, let's take a break, JP, and we'll be right back to wrap this show up tonight. We'll all give our final thoughts and congratulations and whatever else we've got to say. So, JP, let's take a break.
Have you got a ping, pang, ding going on with your car or truck? Then take it to A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. A-Plus Automotive does all types of automotive repairs, from tune-ups to oil changes and complete diagnostic work. And they are a North Carolina inspection station with over 30 years of experience. See A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. They also do AC and heater repair. Get her running today with a stop at A-Plus Automotive, 1900 Elizabeth Avenue in Shelby. See Charlie Heston today or call 704-482-0441 for A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. It takes hard work to reach goals. It's a truth that applies to more than sports. It goes for your financial goals as well. You work hard for your money. You deserve an investment strategy that lines up with your game plan. And your local Edward Jones financial advisor, Adam Larson, can help. If your investments aren't putting forth the effort, call Adam at 704-481-0388 or stop by his office at 1427 East Marion Street in Shelby. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC. Pegram Insurance Services in Shelby is now All Care Insurance Services, and they invite you to see their newly remodeled office and talk with them about your insurance needs. If that's too far away from you, they have an All Care Insurance location in both Gastonia and Belmont areas. All Care Insurance has strived to be the best by providing quality insurance coverage with great commitment to customer service. Whether you do coverage for your home, auto, business, life, or something more, their experienced agents are there to help you. Visit one of their convenient locations, 220 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, 4515 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia, and 7005 Suite E Wilkinson Boulevard in Belmont. That's All Care Insurance Services. At your local All Ray Tire store, you can get up to $70 in rebates on select tires from 7 different brands of tires. Come in for all the details and get up to $70 in rebates. And don't forget, get pickup and delivery inside city limits. From an oil change to brake work to alignment to an inspection, they can do it all at your local All Ray Tire store with 2 locations to serve you. 401 East Main Street in Cherryville, 327 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, 8 to 12 on Saturday. That's All Ray Tire.
And welcome back to the Renaldo Automall Post-Game Show.
Renaldo.
JP, you about to get that down. Renaldo.
Renaldo Automall
Hey,
Post-Game.
fellas, this has been a great season. I want to compliment, first of all the teams in Lincoln County. Terry, West Lincoln, North Lincoln, great years for them. East Lincoln, Lincolnton, they're still going to be strong. We talk about Cleveland County, Lincoln County is going to be tough. Cleveland County, man, there ain't a loser in the crowd. We talked about it earlier. Kings Mountain, 4th round down at Charlotte Catholic, 7 overtimes. Shelby tonight, beating another Cleveland County team, Burns, who had a great year. And Crest will. I know you and I have an interest in that team, but they're the conference champions. I mean, who would have thunk it, to be quite honest, after the way they got beat by Shelby? So we have a great future ahead of us. Terry, speaking about the future, I want to get your thoughts on a proposal that's coming out for the athletic directors to vote on going to 5 classifications for high school football in North Carolina.
Yeah, and they're talking about that, and there's a limit that you're going to have. So if all ADs do not vote, then they're not going to get it. I mean, if you elect not to even put in a bid, but
I think it's 314 schools out of the 400 and something. I've got the numbers over there, and I forgot to bring it over here because we was watching the overtime.
But it'll be the best thing, I think, for North Carolina.
No big and little.
No.
Just 5.
Just 5. And you'll have like your big 16 like South Carolina does now. All your big-time school with 3,000 or 4,000 kids in them will be competing each other, and then you split the rest of them up, and let them compete. But, what a year for, especially us here, the teams that we cover. I mean, we missed one year in there, but since 2000, we've had a team from our area that we represent in the state championship every year.
Yep.
Whether they win or lose, we've had somebody there. But this year we're going back to our state championships. We got 6 out of the 8 state champions from last year still in it. A chance to repeat. The only ones that cannot repeat is Murphy in the 1A and Wake Forest in the 4AA now. Those are the 2 that's out. Wake Forest got knocked out tonight. But as far as everything else, I mean, we're sitting here and we're watching Shelby do an amazing job. And even when Coach Jones says they've been in the playoffs and they faced Cleveland County teams 20 times now, and they're 18-2 in the playoffs against Cleveland County teams. Amazing. I mean, you know, that is just fantastic. But I don't know, man. We sat in a place that our football is way better than a lot of other counties around us. And I love being a part of it, and I know y'all love being a part of it. I mean, you know, because when we start in August and all these football players start in July.
We just figure in 16 weeks.
That's it. But when we get here, I mean, we're thinking all the way through, and we're like, if we get knocked out, it's a disappointment to us. A couple years ago, when we was knocked out, when High Brighton beat Shelby and put them out of it in the 4th round.
We sitting here twiddling thumbs.
We
going,
did.
Huh?
I mean, we didn't know what to do because we'd never seen this around here in a long time. So congratulations to all the teams, all the coaches, all the players, all the people who give their time as our football is going on every week also.
Yeah.
You know, because you talking about ticket takers, people who serving in the concession stands, everything else that people do. You know, your not your color guard, but your flag men out on the field. I mean, all that's free time a lot of times for them. But anyway, I mean, I'm gonna shut up. But it's been another great year for us.
Terry, I'm just going to go around the table here. Are you for the 5 classification?
Yes.
Will, what's your thoughts? You for the
I'm
5?
I'm for.
Joel?
I ain't really got into what it's supposed to be, but the way I keep reading it, I'm all for it too. I just got to understand it a little bit more.
Well, what they're going to do, we got such disparity now between the 1As, very few students, about 300 or 400 students, and the 4As, the 4 AA's, which could have like 35, 37, 3,800 students. You know, we could play like in Indiana basketball, all schools play for one championship, you know, but this is not Hoosiers.
Yeah.
And so how, particularly with these big schools in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, and I feel sorry for McDowell County, Terry. They got one school in the county. You realize they're the only 4A school in western North Carolina?
Yeah. Well, South Caldwell.
Yeah.
There's a 4A school up there. I mean, you know, McDowell. But, you know, when you go east of Charlotte, it's hard for 4A teams on this side to win a state championship because you're going to have to go through Charlotte and so much speed down there that, you know, we've never heard of or seen. You know, and it does make a difference. I mean, we saw Watauga in the 3A come off the mountain tonight, and I thought Watauga's had a great year. But Weddington drilled them like it was nothing.
Well, now you
to be fair to Watauga,
it
didn't make no difference who got in front of Weddington.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Weddington is
but
that
you
same thing. It didn't make no
You
it
had
didn't make no difference who got in front
Scott
of them.
Satterfield's son was on the team. He injured himself, even though his dad's at Louisville, Coach of the Year.
Yes.
He came back to play his senior year at Watauga, got injured. He was not playing. Lance Ware's son's playing on that team.
Yeah.
You know, so you've got a lot of athletes at Watauga, but you don't have the same type of athletes that you have in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, where you've got kids that are going D1, D1, D1. You know, a kid from Watauga, he might go to, like, what's the kid that went down to Wofford? The big fullback up there used to play years ago. Or they might go over to Appalachian. But they're not a lot of D1 players in the mountain areas.
Yeah.
And if you'll look at the history of it, Joel, those teams from up in the mountains, you know, you've been up there. And they come down to the Piedmont, the same thing happens to them as when we go down to Charlotte, Mecklenburg sometimes and face those athletes.
I told everybody, I said, because somebody asked me, why the mountain teams don't stand a chance? I said, well, it's just speed. And I said, the only thing we can do is them mountain people knows how to hit somebody. That's about it.
Well, let's any last comment, and then JP, we're going to turn it over to you and let you flip over the station here.
All right. So my last comment is a rundown of the state championships next week.
Take it away, Will.
All right, you got Northampton playing Robbinsville. Yeah, and that's the 1A. In the 1AA, you got Southern. Wait a minute. Is that Tarboro versus East Surrey.
Yep.
The small 2A, you got, or the 2-1A. You got Northeastern High School versus Reedsville.
Yep.
You got in the 2A, you get 2AA, you got Salisbury versus Shelby High. 3A, you got Charlotte Catholic playing. Is that Lewiston? What is that?
Southern Nash.
Is that Southern Nash?
Yeah.
I thought that was Eastern Anavans. Look at that score again.
Got 1 minute.
Southern Nash.
Southern Nash. Okay. Well, that's my thoughts. I'm done.
Okay.
We got 1 minute.
You got lead.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in to our show. You give me 1 minute.
That's the way to wrap it up.
Hey.
Thank y'all for watching. I look forward to talking with you guys.
And next Saturday morning at 8 a.m., we'll be right here. All God's creatures will be right here.
Oh, it's going to be a great show.
And there'll be biscuits for everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Good night, folks. Great season. Go Lions.